Will it be 2 for 2? It is time to get into Cloud9's map pick of Consulate.
Oof. I think this is getting very tense here, Dev. Now, what's important for Cloud9 is that they can bounce back and have a really good, well-rounded effort. What I think is going to be really interesting to watch pan out is going to be this ban phase for operators, because there are some pretty important bans you would like to, or you would normally see locked away here. I think Valkyrie has got to be one of the most important ones, right? That outside info that you can get through Valkyrie, pretty key. On top of the fact, it also means that you have to constantly run an IQ if you're going to hunt for those cameras.
Yeah, and we may well see that Valkyrie slip through the ban phase. It's funnily enough not actually one of the main bans that either of these teams usually do on this map. In fact, the thing that's a bit of an outlier for me is I think it was Guz who mentioned it. The Nomad ban actually hasn't appeared, which does really, I think, lean into that run-out playstyle that we know Elevate love, they thrive in. Of course, Cloud9 are very much keen to do that as well. But of course, the run-outs will be somewhat less prevalent with that Valkyrie ban, as you had alluded to, Raven.
Yeah, I just think so important to get that locked away. Now, those other two attack bans, not too much to really talk about. Thatcher, the poor guy, never really sees much action on Consulate. A Mozzie ban coming out to round it out, though, by Cloud9, targeting on Agiri, I'd say. I believe he's the one that usually does play the Mozzie.
I think both him and Napew have done it, and honestly, like, those are the two players you really don't want to have with their comfort ops. It was Napew who was playing Mozzie on the previous map. Of course, it was just a one round, so I don't know how much you read into that. But yes, of course. I also do wonder, though, that's another info gatherer off the table, banned out by Cloud9, and also Mozzie is great information denial, Raven, and also I think that maybe even just the way that you can use Mozzie on the windows, on console, I'm thinking places like admin to really stall out that droning. Is that maybe part of the reason that has gone into this Cloud9 ban, or do you think it's just the pure fragging capability of the operator?
I think it's got to be more to do with the service that Mozzie does for the defense, right? Just that info denial on Consulate in particular is really tricky. You know, a lot of stairwells, a lot of tight corridors, and even like vertical sections that you can use mute jammers still to deny info. So if mute does become a hard stay for some of those lower floor sites, man, you don't want to have to deal with a Mozzie either. So it's actually a very helpful ban just to make attack a little bit easier. I feel like that's got to be the primary reason.
Well, funnily enough, Consulate is a map that we personally haven't seen very much. You and me, Raven, doing OCN and APAC South. It only was played twice throughout the entire time in APAC South, whereas it's seen a bit more in APAC North. Picked 5 times, actually is defensive favored. And CEO meeting, while it is the least favored bomb site statistically in APAC North, it is actually Cloud9's first choice here.
Yeah, it is, and I think that's the big difference with APAC South, is it's not really teams' first choice or desired choice for a lot of maps, but we have seen a bit of it played in the BO3 portion of the playoffs this weekend, just showing that it's probably more of a mid-table map, you could say, in APAC South. But I'm really excited to see what C9 can show us on Consulate. More importantly, I'm excited to see them step it up. Like, we already know Elevate are up and firing. They are poised to take out the stage championship. But that's not how we want it to go down. C9 are the monsters of APAC North. What have they got to show us?
As we are getting deeper into the action phase, it really is on Elevate to take some steps here, and it looks like they had the notion of bringing that Ying, of course. Sapper 6-picked it off of the Thermite. Ironically, Cloud9 also 6-picked off of Smoke and onto Warden. So it seems like both teams will have a bit of a read on each other, right? And I think Cloud9 have done their research if they are expecting the Ying here. But I do wonder, will that Warden be effective?
I do wonder as well. DCH, though, ain't going to be effective any longer. And then Taylor backs that up. Oh, my lord. C9 start with a bang.
Great way to start this top floor bomb site. Very much unfavored for many teams, but playing aggressively works out. MB Taylor shut down. Elevate start to try and claw the man count back into it. As Xenox would love to point out, Cloud9 did find the opening pick, of course. And statistically, this series, that has led to 100% of the round wins. Elevate really need to start trying to even this up, and there you go, 3v3.
Stuff from Elevate to answer that one back. Still got a minute to make some plays happen. Sapper still on the board with this Ying as well, and importantly, Dev Napier, this man is still alive. He was the one that really excelled for Elevate on Oregon. He's very close to another engagement. Did he just see that? No, I don't think he did.
Oh, no. Oh, the timing! Napier shut down. That is so big for Harper, and this is going to be desperate from Elevate. The Candelas roll on through. Nova doesn't care. He's got some smart glasses. He gets a kill on the back of it. Onigiri can find one, but... Ooh, is that almost a wallbang? I think that wall's reinforced, actually. So,
yeah.
Good move from Cloud9. Elevate, I think this is over.
Look, it does feel that way, Dev. 15 seconds. Onigiri's got a lot to do to make this happen. He's going to have to try and come up spiral stairs. And there's two Elevate players, Cloud9 players waiting for him. Shyle, in particular, waiting right for the top of the stairwell. And there's Cloud9 looking out round number one.
Shyle with the Cloud9 weapon, skin, and charm, and no doubt also running the Jaeger uniform for Cloud9. You can pick that up in the in-game store. There's actually an esports section under the store. I highly recommend you go in there and get all of your favorite teams' uniforms. I personally get incredibly excited every time there's a new R6 share announcement. I just love rocking those skins.
Yeah, look, they are really, really nice skins. Honestly, we were very spoilt for choice through the most recent
young
drops.
Jaeger.
Oh yes,
It's like 20 different gun skins for Jaeger.
Crazy. And Valkyrie, right? The MPX.
Yes.
I swear there's so many good MPX skins.
I actually have Cloud9 on the, I think. It's a good one.
Very apt choice, Dev.
Yes. Yes. You know what is another apt choice? The Warden, very much proven to be, as Nova managed to get a kill while flashed by using the smart glasses last round, and this time the Warden is moved over to Static for the garage defense. It does seem a bit funny to me here that Cloud9 are really leaning into this.
I like it. Honestly, I've always really enjoyed Warden plays, and it's really great to see that he does come in from time to time. The team's really thinking about the fact that, yeah, look, those glasses do counter some pretty frustrating things, and to a point that, man, I think it was Manic brought it up in the last cast with Fnatic and Knights, that the current meta means that utility is actually used as utility instead of just burning things. So it does mean that Warden is even more viable.
That's true. You're not just using your smoke grenades to burn ADSs, you're actually using them to flash people now. But bit of a scary moment there with that spawn peek attempt. Angry X low on HP. Nice job there from the defense to shut down that Twitch drone before it can do too much more damage, but here comes the breach. I don't know whether it was the Twitch that destroyed that Electric Claw, but there's still one remaining, and of course Cloud9 I think would like to get that breach open, but at this point, might be a bit dangerous to try and get an exothermic on there.
Yeah, I think definitely dangerous because Sapper in particular, Static, what am I saying? He's close to the bottom of yellow stairs and he will get a nice deep angle to that wall. So even with the clear of this, I think it's just going to be very tough for the Sapper to actually get to the wall to place this. I think he's going to try it, Dev. I don't know.
Surely this is a massive risk. Elevate, go for it. He's tempted. Napier doing some work as well. Keen at mirror window does somewhat make him not so keen to peek. He just goes in. Hello there, Napier, the man himself. The man of the hour looking for another one. C4 comes through. This isn't even a full execute. This is just Napier doing Napier things as he finds his second and third kill. The pistol, this man is insane. You can't stop him. You can't touch him. And Elevate have a flawless round.
I think I just pogged IRL. Oh my lord, that was incredible from Napier. If you could have seen my face the whole time, I reckon production's just laughing at my face just then. I didn't even know what to say. That was nuts from Napier. Just felt like he was constantly peeking and swinging from the front of the white van. Found 3 kills. Oh my lord, Elevate.
Holy moly, what was that? Welcome to Thailand! the home of Napier, the god himself. And, well, it's only 1-1, but Elevate have certainly made a statement in this stage championship. I love the fact that Napier once again goes Amaru. 6 picks onto the Ash, of course, but he's just living rent-free in their heads at the minute.
I mean, can you blame them? I'd be a little bit scared. I'll tell you what, he is absolutely... I mean, look, I'm not going to say single-handedly because I feel like that would be a little disrespectful to the rest of the Elevate team. But he is a whole other level. That man is built different, I tell you what.
If there was ever an apt use of the word built different phrase, it certainly would be in reference to Napier. Cloud9, though, I mean, they found a really good first round, right? They got aggressive on that top floor, but I feel like those aggressive kind of plays, and especially picking the least favored bomb site on the map, that's the kind of thing that you really only do once. Even if it were unlocked at the moment, we might not actually see Cloud9 really leaning into that. So I'm honestly looking at these more typical bomb sites such as Garage Cafeteria to really be the focus for Elevate, and should they have success on those, I see no reason why they shouldn't convincingly win this attack half, and there's the pick on Agiri.
This is getting a little scary. I mean, we're only 2 rounds deep, Dev, but Elevate have switched on some serious momentum these last 2 rounds. I mean, this one's not over yet, but this is starting to be concerning for Cloud9. They really need to stand up to Elevate right now.
The nature of the Thailand style of siege and the Elevate style of siege is, of course, this can be slow, can be fast, sometimes maybe good, and sometimes it just explodes. You really don't know what to expect. As Sapper's looking to breach this garage wall. A moment of silence as we just anticipate.
Yes, just as static is only static. That is what we're hearing right now, is static. But
well, he is the only player to fall in this round.
Yeah, very symbolic. But symbolic also is that we have had a very stagnant last 40 seconds or so. Ever since static was that opening death, it has just been Elevate meticulously preparing themselves for this. Not as explosive as last time, but they are certainly getting the info required.
But once again, not a full breach. Onigiri so keen. Honestly, at any moment, this could be it. At any moment, Elevate could go forth. But are they ready? Here comes the Finker boost, the adrenal surge. On the back of it, still patience from Elevate. The gas canister does meet them. Envy Taylor finds the first kill. It is the player we have been speaking about so much. Napier, he's down and out. A 4v4 now leaves us in a position where we start to maybe think that Cloud9 have a good position. That is a heck of a lot of damage. And Sapper surely is not long for this world. Another gas still remaining. And of course that counters the Finker. So Elevate really on the ropes.
Yeah, 4v4, Harper tagged pretty significantly there as Envy Taylor has found on Nagiri. But 20 seconds, Dev, as you said, this is a lot more stalled out. Sapper low, Elevate. This is going to be a pretty hectic execute.
15 seconds to go.
But hectic is their middle name. 15 seconds, 10 seconds, time ticking. Shile finds one. DCH to trade. Sapper, pretty desperate. Nova finds one. Sapper, the last man standing. That's it. That's over. And Cloud9's going to find this round. And with that, take the lead here on Consular. That opening pick once again leading to the round win.
Yes, very good round from C9 in the end. But you're actually wrong. That was an opening pick to Onigiri. And that is the first round in this series that hasn't led to the opening pick winning the round. So fantastic buck of the trend for C9, right when was needed, honestly.
Yeah, that was totally what I meant, dude. Yeah, my bad.
I knew it. Sorry. I got you.
Yeah, wow. So great stuff there from Cloud9. They have once again got themselves back in the game, of course.
Yeah.
We talked about the static. We're going to fix that. So
Yes.
just going to have a look with us for a minute, and we will get that sound bug all sorted. So I don't know. It's weird because, right, Cloud9 have the lead, but Elevate had a flawless round. How much stake do we put on that and saying that they've clearly got a lot of firepower that is just waiting to be released?
That is the scary thing, is it's just, it comes on and off with Elevate, right? Like if they find that opening, they have the tools required to be able to nail it. I mean, yeah, you could put a lot on the shoulders of Napier for that flawless round paying out. Like if he didn't get the triple that he got, maybe they wouldn't have found the rest of the openings that they were looking for. At the end of the day, though, as you said, they have the firepower to pull that stuff off. I think it's all about Cloud9 implementing ways to be ready to deal with that. And I don't know whether you could credit Cloud9 fully for that last round. Elevate did take it a lot slower, and that played into the hands of Cloud9. They smoked out that breach, and it meant that it was a lot more comfortable for them come execute.
Yeah, well, I guess sometimes that is just the way that you counter Elevate and what they do, right? If you're anticipating that they might be pushing a bit earlier, just keep those gases coming. And of course, the thing about the Finker that Onigiri likes to run is the fact that it actually does make your attacking operators take more damage to gas. It's one of those things that you probably don't, I'm sure a lot of people don't even realize that, but it's as an operator that you don't see very much. It's something important to take into consideration when you're picking it, because, pardon me, I think the idea is that the heart is pumping faster with the adrenal surge, and so you're breathing more and then inhaling more of that toxic smoke. So, yeah, that's something I think, credit to Cloud9. I think using those gases early really held Elevate at bay.
Yeah, it really did. It stopped that instant aggression that you do see from Elevate. And as you were saying, it's going to be important that Cloud9 are able to hold some of those more difficult sites, such as Garage. The fact that they've now got that under their belt, and that was the third round as well, right? So it's pretty key. And if they can continue to hold well in these other sites, they've got console meeting open again. Maybe they can secure this 4-2 half, and that would put them in a pretty good spot coming into their attack phase.
Do you really think they're going to go back to console meeting, though? Because statistically, and I'll go and have a look at actually Cloud9 themselves stats, but yeah, statistically, that is the least favored bomb site, the lowest win rate and the lowest pick rate in APAC North. So it's not one you would expect to see time and time again, maybe just as an opening round to try and catch your opponent off guard.
Yeah, look, potentially, but at the same time, I mean, it worked out pretty well. I wouldn't doubt picking it, being like, hey, like it worked well the first time. If it was chosen as a simple throw off Elevate, then yeah, maybe you could say its effectiveness next time won't work out. At the same time, are they going to be expecting them to go there again? Because maybe they're not, and that would still work as a bit of a surprise pick. But yeah, look, maybe Lobby will come out next. I just think console meeting is another good kicker site because, as you said, it really isn't played that often. So if C9 can play it and back those in, they're putting themselves in that good spot.
Yeah, so I do have the stats, and it looks like in terms of favored sites for Cloud9 specifically on this map, Garage Cafeteria is number 1, quite significantly. Number 2 is Teller's Archives, and then number 3 is tied between Meeting CEO, which is the top floor, and the Piano Lobby bomb site on the middle floor. So I feel like the next most likely bomb site we're going to see is Tellers. It could be that top floor again. Apparently the top floor is just as likely as Piano Lobby. But yeah, I do wonder because Piano Lobby actually has an 100% win rate across the 4 times they have played it in this sample size, whereas Meeting CEO is actually a split 2 for 2. So I feel like statistically speaking, you should probably be going first into Teller's Archives, and then if you do win 3 rounds in a row, you probably don't head back to console, office and meeting. Go Lobby. I just feel like if Elevate counter that aggression more and they don't just get picked twice like what happened in the opening round, I think that Elevate would win that site. So for Cloud9, just don't go back there.
Yeah, look, I think it's a great point, but something that happens in Siege as well is stats are one thing, but you've got to play to your strengths. And if C9 feel like they are strong on console or that it strongly counters what Elevate are trying to do with their attacks at least, sometimes you just got to go it, even if it's against the stats. You know, the stats are only one small portion of a story that is told by the players and like their performance and all other aspects of it. So, I mean, I'd still be down for them to go for it, but it really just comes down to what their intention was with console meeting. But at the end of the day, Cloud9 are looking a lot better on Consulate, or they're looking good on Consulate. I shouldn't say a lot better because at the end of the day, they struggled with their attacks. We're still seeing only their defenses.
You know, honestly, that is a really, really good point, considering that Cloud9 on Oregon only won a single attack round across 5 attempts, whereas we saw Elevate win 3 on their attack. And obviously, that means Cloud9 only won 3 defenses out of 6. So a bit concerning here. You know, what is a convincing half? What is a strong half for Cloud9 here? Is it that 3-3 split?
I think it's got to be better. I think they need to go the 4-2. Honestly, I think they need to get themselves in that position with an actual buffer. And if they can't start well with their attacks, at least, you know, they can burn 2 to settle in, so to speak. I know it sounds a bit weird saying it like that, but at the end of the day, I just think that's what they need because, yeah, their attacks were very unconvincing on Oregon. And I would say Constance, in some ways, maybe not so much Garage, but in some ways, it can be a really tricky map to attack.
Yeah, it certainly can. We're getting into the game in just a few moments, but before we do, of course, we're not holding up the game. We're just getting everyone back into the lobby. So don't you worry, guys. We're getting in as soon as we can. But another interesting stat. Now, I know the stats don't tell the whole story, but I mean, when we've got moments like this, I like to bring them out because why not? Yeah, for Cloud9, right? So their attack win rate so far over the last 24 games is 55.6%. So obviously that's above average. Yep. But again, obviously Cloud9 are winning most of their games across both Korean Open and APAC North, right? So you'd expect a really high win rate on attack and defense. So win rate on attack, 55%. Win rate on defense, 70%. Oof. That's quite a significant disparity right there. 15% difference between their attack and defense win rates.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna point out something that maybe we haven't referred to is maybe APAC South are just much better than North at attacking. I mean, I know that was Elevate on Oregon. We may see it again here on Consulate. I don't know, the story is not fully told. But that can also be a factor here. This is the biggest difference between C9's Stage 1 stats in terms of regular season and playoffs, is that they were only against APAC North. APAC South is a bit of a different beast.
Honestly, that's a really valid point there. And we saw that the stats from map 1 today, or game 1 today, I should say, Fnatic versus Knights, also back up your point. Knights won more attacker rounds than Fnatic did. Bomb located by attackers. So definitely something to consider there and something to look at. But of course, it's not over yet. This is Cloud9's map pick, and if there's any way that they can start to mount this comeback, it is right now, Raven. They're in the lead. They had a good last round. Elevate really fell to pieces. But in fact, they are going to this meeting, lobby press room, lobby press room rather, bomb site on the middle floor, which, as I had said, is actually not their statistically favored bomb site in terms of pick rate, but it is their most successful in terms of win rate.
There you go. So let's see whether that is made true. Will they win this one? Continue that trend of it being a highly successful site for them to hold. I think it's, again, really crucial they can establish a bit of a buffer with Elevate. They were to go up 3-1 right now. I feel like that's some pressure off, at least for the time being. Envy Taylor is trying to get aggressive on this spawn peak. Angry X was still out to the spawn in that direction, I think, that he was looking at. But no, he's bailing away. No spawn peak this time.
All right, respect MV Taylor for looking for it, for trying to make it happen. Elevate for now, all just outside. Do they know that bombsite is not garage? They will now, surely. Okay, there you go. Yeah. I just, for a second, it looked exactly like their garage attack, so I was a bit confused. But there you go. It is actually just a garage-centric step 1, and roam clear. Look at all the drones go out.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Elevate really want garage control.
I love seeing that, all 3 drones, like a little army. But I think this is a good read from C9. I mean, those vertical holes that have been made, you would make them for many reasons, right? One could be for plant denial later. But the other could be to watch garage entries, so that could be some adaptation we're seeing from C9. At the end of the day, this is a very garage-focused clear from Elevate. Maybe they're just looking to go straight to piano. In goes Napew. Oh. He's in bottom yellow already.
Would be pretty typical from Elevate, wouldn't it, to make a play like that? Just go direct to bomb site, hard hit. Napew, the player we praised so much. The scoreboard might be reset, but he's still feeling hot after the insane kills he's had so far. And on the Ash as well, he was taken out first last round. This time the opening pick is for Elevate, and it's Envy Taylor, their MVP, who's taken out.
Yeah, having a rough one, and that's the Warden again, something we spoke about a little bit. It's been a bit of a mainstay in the defense lineup here. for Cloud9. Speaking of mainstay, Napier, mainstay on the aggression for Elevate. He's already up the lower spiral stairs. They have been putting a lot of pressure in and around site, but that is not necessarily going to be fruitful. I mean, there's a lot of vertical control held here by C9, and that's some pressure coming from Visa. Elevate, all of a sudden, you know, the whole round is just dissipated. 30 seconds to go.
This is certainly scary. Elevate have so much map control, but it's not necessarily the map control that you would typically want on a lobby press attack. And here's Nova to take down Napier. Last time Napier was the opening pick, they lost it. But Sapper's found his second. It's a 3 versus... Oh, hello! 1 versus 3 for Shyle. And he managed to get that diffuser down on the ground. Elevate have retaken it. Now they're covering it. Elevate lock in that round and even up the scoreboard.
Well then, that was incredible. I'm really not sure what exactly caused C9 to fold. At the end of the day, that was such a chaotic execute. Say it again, man. Elevate, do they thrive on chaos? Yes, they do. That was just insane. And now, again, this is still a scary position for C9. If they cannot get the next 2 rounds, they can't separate themselves from Elevate in this half. I seriously do fear for them to be able to close out this map. Elevate are really running toe-to-toe with them right now.
Consulate is defender-sided in APAC North, like quite significantly defender-sided in APAC North, 67%. Like this, really, you should be hoping for a 4-2 for Cloud9. This is on their map pick as well. So I am really starting to get concerned here for Cloud9. Like you're saying, surely they've really got to get on their bike and get the next 2 rounds in a row to set themselves up for a win here on Consulate. Even overtime would be a stretch at a 3-3 half, let alone the possibility that Elevate runs away with 4 attacks. Napier off the Ash. He's had a poor couple rounds in a row after that insane entry from him, and he's on to the Amaru.
That's such a natural transition, Dev. Did you not think that he would go from the Ash to the Amaru?
Oh, yes. He's like, you know what is my problem? Well, firstly, I need more bullets, so I'm going to pick the G8. And secondly, like, Ash is not fast enough. Who's faster than Ash? Ah, yes, Amaru.
Oh, my lord. Yeah, look, it's... I shouldn't say only Elevate, because we have seen many teams go the old Amaru play. It's a great call, because it's top floor bomb site. Love to see the Amaru up the hatch into console office for the plant kind of strat. It's a really beautiful strat. Maybe that's what Elevate are going for. No, actually, Napier straight into admin.
Surely there's info for this. Otherwise, that is just a massive risk. But of course, you know, of any team to take risks, it is Elevate. They do like to do that. He had droned it out a little bit. Envy Taylor, though, clearly aware of this position. Is anyone here to support Napier? Because if he's the first victim again, I do worry for Elevate.
Me too, and he is walking very close to a crossfire, but luckily for him, he has just pulled back. Now, the printed player of Harper has rotated down long desk. It means he is a little more in the clear. And looks like there's a lot of pressure starting to happen around meeting. And that's going to free it up for Napier. He's going to drone forward. He may be able to find an opening onto Nova through that Visa doorway. But Nova does seem aware, at least, that maybe there are some players now camped up in admin.
This is the thing with Elevate, right? They're kind of pushing everywhere at once, and they did it last round. Honestly, I think you could analyze that press room lobby attack for about 10 years and still be wondering what Elevate were thinking. Because just the nature of their attacks is so all over the place, so unusual, uncharacteristic of most teams in Rainbow Six, and that's the case here as well. Elevate pushing everywhere at once. This is an early execute. Onigiri finds one Napier straight into the bomb site, looking for one more. The 2x site. Here's Onigiri for 3! It's all on static now! And Cloud9, they're falling to pieces. They've been flawless through APAC North, but this is going to have to be a massive retake for Static. Trying to go up against 3 players from Elevate. It ain't happening. Not now, not any day. And Elevate take the lead once again.
Incredible stuff from Elevate, and it was just it felt inevitable, didn't it, Dev? Just the admin control early from the Amaru. Elevate stacked up around it, the player hassling from the meeting windows. It just meant that that poor player in meeting as Nova on the Warden, he had to just absorb the onslaught. No chance. And then just the frag power from every direction. You highlighted it. Elevate are just poking from every direction on that attack. So hard for C9 to deal with. And now this is really concerning for me. The fact that Elevate have guaranteed themselves 3 rounds in this half. They are looking strong right now.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? This Elevate roster can achieve so much. And of course, they're only 1 round ahead here of Cloud9, but they have that map in the pocket already. C9, we said it so many times, right? This is their map pick. They should be favored. This is defense. They should be favored. This is Cloud9, for goodness sake. They went flawless in APAC North. They should be favored. But the little team from Thailand, never having won an APAC championship. In fact, a team from Thailand has never been at the top of APAC. Not once, not ever. And Elevate may well be on track to break that record for the first time.
And more too. I feel like the point of maybe APAC South just being a better attacking sub compared to North is true, because looking at Consulate map stats, I can't remember if you said this already. I know we were reeling off a lot of stats, but it's actually attacker-sided in APAC South. Now, we only have a small sample pool, but 48% of overall defense rounds were won on Consulate for APAC South versus 67% defense win rate in North.
It's insane.
Like, that's a significant difference, seriously significant. And it feels like we're getting first-hand evidence right now that the defense style of C9 or APAC North, however you want to categorize it, is just really not, it's not matching up to what Elevate of APAC South are throwing at them.
And honestly, this is such a challenging moment for Cloud9. They have had such a good season, right? As flawless can be through APAC North League. Within the Korean Open, not necessarily as flawless. They've actually dropped 4 maps this season. And most recently, 2 in a row to Dam1. Now, this could be the 4th map in a row that Cloud9 have lost in recent history. After such a dominant season, their most dominant ever. What a change of trajectory for them.
Really is now. C9, they need to dig deep. They have to book in this round, Dev. If they were to go down 2-4 in this half, that is seriously concerning. Elevate are pushing. Now, Static, he knows there are players surrounding him on yellow. That player is backed away, and just watching this angle, if he was to peek, would probably be to his demise right now. Elevate going back to this careful push.
That's the thing, Elevate had 2 modes, full on and full off, and Angryx the first victim. That's massive. That's the vertical player as well. Big pick there from Harper. Does give Cloud9 that early advantage in the final round of their defense half. They have to salvage this for a 3-3. It's the best they can achieve, but Napew's pushing on down lockers, and the rest of Elevate looking for a push on the main wall.
This could be big for Napew. If he is to find some level of explosion from behind, then maybe able to be the difference. Sapper, you're in the line of sight there, man. Oh no, he's been downed outside. 30 seconds, Dev. C9, they're sitting in a great position right now, but here goes. DCH doesn't land the shots.
That's it. That's the pick that C9 have been looking for. So much control in their side now. There's the revive and the finger boost. Zappa, he might be able to get this breach off, but this surely is too little, too late. There's the gas. There's no way Elevate can pull this off. He goes deep, and C9 waiting with open arms, ready to receive. They're going to make this a 3-3 half. And Cloud9 start to salvage this map.
Such an important round for C9, and they stepped up big time. Elevate failing to really get a whole lot happening on that attack, but 3-3 half, very fitting for how this game feels. But at the same time, Dev, I still can't help but feel that Elevate, they're the ones controlling the pace right now. When they go bang, I would say 90% of the time they are really coming out on top. Now, we did see a 3-3 half, sure, but to see Elevate now rotate to defense, I think It's concerning, and I'm just not so sure right now. Everything is favoring C9.
There's one thing you can't deny is that Cloud9 have really just given themselves a massive opportunity right there and then. And you can't really pinpoint one specific thing. I think there's a lot of different elements that contribute to why Cloud9 managed to get that across the line and even that half. Firstly, of course, they found the opening pick. Of course, it was the sledge player. That's the primary operator that Elevate are going to be using to try and clear out the site from above. On top of that, one of the things I think is super impactful, Raven, is that mirror window on the garage wall really slowed down Elevate's breach. And eventually, when Thermite did try and place his exothermic charge, he was met with a spray of bullets, which not only, delayed time, but also left him on such low HP. I think overall that was just such an excellent round from Cloud9, and a reminder to us that despite them having a bit of a rough day so far and not coming in with the greatest form we've seen in recent times, they are here to play. They are a good team. They are undoubtedly in contest for #1 in APAC.
Yeah, undoubtedly is correct there, Dev. Now, this is a really big moment here for, again, C9. I'm going to say I feel like the pressure is really on them right now. They're the ones down a map in this series. They're the ones now attacking on Consulate to have to save this series. They need to step this up and really shove it back into Elevate's face.
Well, let's see how they can attack, because Oregon, all they managed to crawl away with was a single round on their attacking half. Elevate, they're known for these aggressive roams. They don't mind not necessarily playing close together because they're so confident in their individual gun skill. But Onigiri, he just shoots a drone or two and starts to back on off, but he's still running around the whole map like it's his.
Probably wouldn't have it any other way either, but wait and see what C9 decide to do. Already a minute played. Not a whole lot of pressure put through side, and C9 with a pretty methodical top-down clear, trying to get this vertical control. Still a player over towards Visa's side. Another one looming this bottom dungeon stairs, bottom statue stairs. Starting to mix up my call-outs, but just the fact that 90 seconds is gone and C9 are really only just starting to get control. It feels a bit slow for me right now.
Does make you wonder, Elevate, as we know them for playing aggressively, we also know that they can, as much as they go full pelt at once, pedal to the metal, they can also really, really slow down and play patiently, and sometimes it's about knowing when to do which. At the moment, playing the patient game, I think it's working for them. Onigiri actually managed to flank the top floor.
This could be huge. He's pushing down a long desk. He could find a player. He is going to find Shyle. That's going to give Elevate the opening, and it's backed up by Napew, Dev. This is very scary for C9 right now.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Napew's very aggressive in sight. Angry X finds one. I don't know where that was. Envy Taylor gone down. This breach is honestly just scuffed for Cloud9. That is not what you want in terms of opening garage and giving yourself a chance to get into the bomb site. Static's going to have to go massive and light up the server. Harper as well in this 2 versus 4. They regroup. Dungeon stairs, 20 seconds to go, but Elevate are ready and waiting. Harper keen here to find this. That's a lovely shot. And looking to make more out of it as well. Static to come and support, but they're going to have to go big. Harper finds another traded. It's all on Static in a 1v1. He can't get there in time. Elevate, they made it close, but they get it across the line and take the lead once again.
That was a little close than I was closer than I was expecting for the end there. Oh my lord, but not even Ash could make it to the yellow stairs in time for Static to close that one out. Elevate inching back ahead, and again they are just constantly matching Cloud9 and excelling where needed. Onigiri on the flank, bravo. That was just so critical for Elevate getting the opening required. Cloud9, I am continuously growing more and more concerned for them, Dev.
It makes you wonder, when is that moment going to change? When will Cloud9 start to flip the switch? Because we've just seen so much from them. We've seen this being the best season ever in history. We talked about this team in particular, Static, formerly known as Sweet Black, MV Taylor, and of course, Oni Chan, who's the coach. These guys have been playing as a part of this roster forever. Like since its inception, since Pro League was a twinkle in Ubisoft's eye within the APAC region. And they've honestly achieved so much in that time. And through thick and thin, they've managed to get signed to arguably the biggest esports organization in the world. And they went to a couple of majors or 6 invitationals or Pro League finals, but they really couldn't achieve what they had set out to do so. And after what had been a disappointing 2019, 2020 was their moment. 2021 was even more so their moment. Flawless through APAC North. But is this really the moment where they don't manage to get the APAC Championship because of this little Thai team from APAC South called Elevate?
Look, I think it's a sad potential repeat of history for C9, under-delivering when they have such promise ahead of them. You're right, they do have such a rich, deep, fantastic history in APAC, but somehow they have not been able to overcome this hurdle of winning a championship in APAC. But look, it's not over yet. They are only down 1 round versus Elevate right now. We are starting to get to the real business end of the map. This is where it's key. They need to stay neck and neck with Elevate. If Elevate are to bump ahead to that 2-round lead, oh, it's going to be really tough to fight back from that.
Well, we're over a minute in here, and it's a lobby press hold for Elevate. Cloud9 looking to contest. Here's a swing in. What a risk, but it pans out. Perfect pinch. Shyle and Static together take down Angry X, but there is a trade elsewhere on Agiri. Once again on the scoreboard. But Cloud9 can be content that they've got control of Yellow Stairs.
Really important control. You are right there, Dev. Now, they are going to lose some really good intel gathering from the Yana of Harper, but sure they'll be able to deal with that. On Agiri again. Look at him. He is down below, potentially unaware completely by C9. Flank really enabled Elevate to get that previous round. It could be the same story here again for Onigiri.
Patience from Elevate. Need to know when to spark that aggression that we know them for. Good information gathered. Napu forced back. More and more exposed. A gas to move forward. That was the 6th pick from Napu. It's currently helping him keep Cloud9 at bay, but of course it can't last forever. There's the flank. That's massive, and the flank watch drone taken down as well. What an impact. And Elevate start to collapse with another pick. 30 seconds left in another 2 versus 4 for Cloud9.
And there it is again. Onigiri on the flank. They just had no idea, even with the drone. And 2v4, this is such a big task for C9 right now. They're not even close to bomb site. Nova, the last alive here, Dev.
Might have the most clutches in APAC North League, but I don't see him clutching this one. Onigiri puts the nail in the coffin. Elevate take a 2-round lead, and with that are 2 rounds away from being the APAC Stage 1 champion.
It is looming, and every round that C9 have been losing, at least these last 2 in particular, it has got to be putting pressure onto C9. They are feeling this slip away. We have attack pause for Cloud9. They are certainly feeling that. They need to talk some stuff through because it is starting, or it really is do or die right now.
What are they going to be talking about right now? They have only won a single attack round all day, Raven. That is just such a terrible position to be fighting from for C9. They come from utter dominance within APAC North, and not quite utter dominance within Korean Open, but still a comfortable ride for them most of the time there. And here into the APAC Playoffs, it looks like they may have met their match in Elevate. This tactical timeout better serve them well. What would you say right now, Raven, if you were in comms with these guys, if you were in this position?
watch your damn flanks. I just think they haven't really adapted to what Elevate is doing. That is busting open their attacks. And seriously, it sounds simple. It really is these onigiri flanks. It's creating chaos in that final minute of the round when you need to be focusing on an execute. You can do all the setup you want. You might have a 5v5 or a 4v4 for your execute. But as soon as you know that someone has flanked and taken out a player, it creates this moment where you start to think about, oh no, we can't do this with the execute. Someone needs to go watch flank, or oh, someone needs to go trade that now. And it becomes so messy. And as we've seen, it's not C9's thing to thrive in that moment. It's actually Elevate's, and that's just what's working so well.
And you know what, Raven, speaking of flank watch, it was actually the Nomad, which was 6-pick off of by Cloud9, that pivotal flank watch operator. MV Taylor decided to go with the IQ, presumably to counter that Pulse, which I want to touch on for a moment, because if you remember loading into Oregon, Pulse was banned by C9. Yep. Sapper in chat says, no, my Pulse. But now he has it. Now this Teller's bomb site is everything Elevate need. They even went so far as to pick Capcan. The absolute gall of Napier to 6-pick that sneaky operator. And I feel like with where Cloud9 is mentally right now, surely that's something they're not going to expect. And there's the opening pick for Elevate.
Absolutely huge. On top of that, Nova, he's probably about 30 HP. Not sure exactly where he lost that health to. But Elevate are continuously stepping up right now. C9 are struggling to really get into the map unscathed. They look like they're going to do some level of west across clear. Maybe they're just going to go straight towards archives. Because that's really, there's only, two main pushes you can do for this. You're either top down, getting admin and visa, or you're pushing across from garage and just trying to take straight to archives and watching the retake. But either way, look, this is a tough site to attack. It's rough for C9 to have to try and bring it back on this one, and to start so poorly. It's very dazed and confused, but Static taking out Napier, that's going to help.
Certainly will, and Static also doing his due diligence, checking for those Capcan traps. That's really important. Also denying some info, getting some good map control, clearing out these Banshees, doing his job to perfection. But as time whittles away, Elevate still have 3 C4s in the pocket. And of course, this Pulse Scanner, the pivotal operator to getting information to deny that plant late round. Sapper also has the shotgun, of course. Just Elevate things.
Seriously, is just Elevate things. They're such an innovative team and not afraid to try any loadout. But now C9, they've pushed in through Visa. They have this control, but it's not as comfortable as you might think, even going to site. But here it is. You said it. At the IQ to counter the Pulse, MV Taylor knows exactly where he is.
Ooh. The C4 does miss, but still MV Taylor hasn't found that kill yet. Just under 50 seconds left. Cloud9 4 versus 4, getting some good info, but they might not have a second chance here at this execute. Big pick from Shail. And they have info on the other one at Yellow Stairs as well, but Onigiri's found a pick. Sapper so close as well to this flanker statue. Onigiri going into the bomb site. It's just on Static now to try and stave off map point from Elevate. Cloud9! That's a wall bang! And Elevate take championship points!
Oh boy. If C9 were dazed and confused in the previous round, they're barely on their feet right now, Dev. Similar story to Oregon. They are facing a serious score deficit right now with 3 rounds. On top of that, Cloud9, they have not ever got 3 rounds in a row in this series. It was a similar story in the Fnatic Knights game. Knights ultimately closed it out. Gonna be so tough for them right here. Elevate, they hold Garage Cafeteria. They will be the Stage 1 APAC champions.
No second chances for Cloud9. This is your moment to stay in the game. Otherwise, you will be swept aside. Elevate on the verge of hitting the highest achievement they have ever touched. And it starts here. It may end here. Garage Cafeteria defense. They've already won it once, Raven, and they have been flawless, untouchable. on their defenses. Cloud9 cannot get anywhere near them.
Oh, they really can't. Just there's always something for Elevate that has been stopping C9 on these attacks, and that something is called Onigiri. 2 rounds in a row that he got flanks that were so pivotal in changing the pace of the round. And just then, I think it was about a 3v3, and Onigiri burst through sight, getting 2, ultimately closes it out. He has stepped it up for Elevate in this second half. He's 11-2 now, Dev. This is just incredible.
That's insane. That is of a 5.5 KD, I think? That is just, don't ever do maths on live broadcast, kids, but that is just insane. Honestly, potentially the most one-sided I have ever seen for a scoreline. This is just massive for Elevate, a moment that they will remember for the rest of their careers in esports. This is such an achievement. To be able to take down the best team from Korea, the best team from APAC North, one of the biggest esports organizations in the world, and it's just little old Elevate.
Yeah, but maybe it's no longer little old Elevate anymore, Dev. They are merging as the beasts of APAC. And we're just moments away from potentially calling them the beasts of APAC and the kings of APAC, but we still have some siege to go. There are 2 minutes left in this round. C9 have their fate in their hands. They need to get a really solid attack going here. Now, Onigiri and Envy Taylor are just mere moments away from connecting right here. And it's Onigiri who loses it to a flick from Envy Taylor. Now, that's a great start for C9.
Exactly what the Koreans need right now. One step at a time. This roam clear proven fruitful. That flank watch proven pivotal as they get to work on this hard breach, on this vertical play. Napew under the pump. It's been him and Onigiri all day, and they're shut down. Envy Taylor says, I'm not out of this yet. Let's pull our heads in. But Sapper, and here's another flank. What is that? Cloud9, don't let this slip away.
It's getting scary, but they're stepping up. Static taking out Sapper is going to put them in such a great 2v4 scenario. They just have to close this out. They've still got a minute, Dev. They have all of the control required right now. It's just about coordinating and nailing it.
Classic Elevate fashion. Another flank teased out by AngryX. Even in the 2v4. Envy Taylor watching it. They're doing as you asked, but that's the pick onto the flank watch. Diffuser going down, but can it be denied? DCH, he can't get it, but he gets the player to cover. 1v2, Cloud9. Keep it alive, they keep it going. They win their first attack round on Consulate, and they stave off the beasts for now.
My heart, Dev, oh my lord. When I saw the swing on the bottom yellow, if he had nailed those shots, that would have been the 2v4 throw to GG. But it's not. Cloud9 survive another round. They've got 2 more to find to save this series.
And that's really all they're fighting for right now, Raven. This isn't even map 3. This is map 2. Cloud9 are on the verge of being 2-0'd without a map to their name. And should they come back here on Consulate, they're going to have to push overtime. They're going to have to take it all the way and win it in OT, and then we'll still go to Cafe, where Elevate will have a chance to bounce back. That is such a mountain to climb for the Koreans.
It really is, because Elevate are just so in form at the moment. They really are doing such a great job with these defenses. Now, big pivotal moment was Envy Taylor getting that pick on Onigiri early in Visa Tellers. That was just so critical to the control required to keep going, because it meant Envy Taylor could control those flanks, at least for a lot longer than in previous rounds. So Garage repeated from Elevate. They feel that they can do this. They can get this Garage defense, and they can get this APAC championship.
10 seconds remaining.
Attempt number 2 here. Does make you wonder, Raven, right? Like, these guys, Elevate, they had the opening deaths that round. It was both Onigiri and Napew who actually fell to Envy Taylor at the start. Like you said, Envy Taylor had a monstrous round And it was really hitting the nail on the head to address the issue you had highlighted about that flank watch. Not only is MB Taylor playing the Nomad, but he is actively watching those flanks. As a result, he's getting these picks. But should he fall, should Elevate be able to run rampant like they wish to, I don't know if this is possible. C9.
Look at this, man. DCH aggressive again. The Intellers, they're really trying to make this happen. And look at this angle from Onigiri. There are some, all the timing. He just saw that player repel in to Printer. He's going to get aggressive. Oh my God, there's so many things that could swing this round right now, Dev.
Onigiri has no idea. Static has no idea. There's the pick. Onigiri takes down the Ash and is still unaddressed, looking for another. And they're trying to get him. They're trying to chase him down. They're desperate. Match point against them. Onigiri has been the linchpin for Elevate.
Round after round, Onigiri has been creating these winning moments, and this could be just that. They're going to have to spend so much time trying to hunt him down, and they still can't quite nail it. They've got drones galore, yellow pings, half the round gone, no bullets to their name onto him, and he's still fighting, Dev, in admin. But they've got the pinch, and the C4 huge. They finally shut him down, but it's C9 that come out at the man deficit.
Too little too late for the Koreans. 3 versus 4. Drones once again sent out. Nova. This is Garage, for goodness sake. This isn't even the middle floor. Finally, Cloud9 have top floor control. Finally, they're starting to work on that mid floor. But time is ticking, ticking, ticking away. There's no thermite on the board to breach Garage. They decided to just go for the Hibana, and Elevate can wait on site.
I can. And look at this from Harper. He is checking every nook and cranny from the east side. He wants to know that he can push that side, but he didn't get the Gemini over to where Angry X is actually holding. This could be a massive deal. Angry X still on this flank. 30 seconds, Dev. C9 are holding the cards to their fate right now.
And Elevate. They may have been bluffing this whole time. That's the pick for Angry X. 2 versus 4 for Cloud9 with 20 seconds remaining. As we await to crown the stage champions, Angry X is looking for another. It's all Envy Taylor in a 1 versus 3. But Elevate may have done it. They have taken, for the first time, the APAC Championship. For Thailand, the beasts of APAC have awoken.
Take a bow, Elevate. That was an incredible series to take down the APAC North. Monsters of Cloud9 hadn't lost a map all of Stage 1, didn't win a map in the Stage Championship. Incredible efforts from Elevate on both maps. Incredible efforts from Onigiri on map number 2. He stood up when Elevate needed him, and he really converted in that second half. Absolutely incredible from Elevate.
A massive moment for this squad, who have been fighting tooth and nail for years for this opportunity.